Beata, Anthony and little Yulia have been living in a flat since they bought this rundown Victorian house in a quiet corner of Bath. They want to restore Newbury to its former glory, but have been resisting sometimes staid Victorian tradition in favour of a rather brighter arts and crafts look.
I cannot wait to see the final touch.
They're concentrating on the living room first, and that's meant ripping out an ugly 70s fireplace.
But let me know if you see a couple of big cracks emerging.
And stripping back wooden floors that have seen better days. Anthony's doing a lot of the work around the house himself, so it's a welcome break to check on progress with the 150-year-old chaise longue. It was left behind by the previous owner and is being restored so it can set the tone for the rest of the sitting room decor.
Hello.
Hi, Simon. Hi.
How are you two?
Very well, thank
Three,
you.
I should
Three,
say.
actually.
Yeah.
Wow.
So this is it.
Initially, we took all of the seat out. If we just turn it over. The only damage that had been done is that the joints had cracked and the dowels had broken. Well, that's all been replaced. Yeah. And, you know, there really wasn't that much damage. The most of the damage is with the worm was on the legs because it's walnut and walnut soft. The worm's been arrested, webbed, new coil springs, on top of that Hessian, waxed the wood up, and now all I'm doing at the moment is creating the shape of the seat and then reuse the horsehair after it's been cleaned all over the top. And then on top of that, cotton felt, and that will lay over the top, and then top fabric on top of that. And as you can see, all of the materials that we use are still basically what they were using in Victorian times.
Anthony and Beata are keen to see if the fabric they've chosen will work with the piece.
So it's the Sandersons.
Yep.
William Morris.
It is. Yep.
And because we have a red and this kind of dark brown almost, do you think that that's suitable for this kind of?
I think it'll look lovely on there. The red will go nicely with the wood.
Yeah.
And so would the brown.
In your opinion, this piece was worth restoring. We're not absolutely mad for salvage it.
And no auction house would have bought it because it was too dilapidated. Once it's done and it's been restored, you know, financially this piece is going to be worth £1,500, £2,000. But apart from that, it's just a really lovely piece of period furniture. You'd have been mad not to.
The restoration work costs about £900, including the fabric, so it's good news that the finished item is now worth almost double that. At Newbury, builder David Nichols is hard at work, and it looks like another big decision has been taken. They've decided to go with a reclaimed fire surround.
It's not that bad, is it? There's a couple of areas that have got quite a bit of shading, so you may just want to put like something slight abrasive on there.
Yeah.
And I reckon you'll get it cleaned up.
What would you recommend?
Well, there are stone cleaners. You can actually get fairly mild stone cleaners. Just a mild detergent would probably do it.
Yeah, I don't think I want to clean it completely because I want to keep the filter.
Yeah, that's where you've got to be careful you don't go too far with it. But
it's nicely fitted. It's good fit for this fireplace. But I can't wait to see until it's finished.
yeah, it's taking your time and getting the detail right that makes the difference on a restoration job, definitely.
That reclaimed surround cost just £150, a huge saving on buying a new one. Now all Anthony and Beata need is a fire to go in it. They're really taken with the stoves, but can't see what they want for the sitting room. But they won't be leaving empty-handed, as they found one for the dining room.
Do you think we can go for this one?
I think this is nice. I think we should go for this one and get a log store which will go underneath.
Yes.
Does that sound all right?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. That was an easy decision, wasn't it?
Yes.
Work is progressing, but Anthony's mum doesn't think it's happening quick enough.
They bought the house, I can't even remember how long ago, and they've been talking about it and finding out various things and suppliers and all the rest of it for an awful long time. And now it's time they really got on and did something about it so that they can move in. Because after all, they've now got a family house, and surely they want to move in.
That's the cue for some extra effort. Bring on the family.
My sister and my sister's husband and a daughter that came especially from Poland for 1 week to help us in the house. So my sister went to the park. She's looking after Julia now, and her husband is doing all of DIY jobs.
It's a lot of work. It's quite tiring, but I have to say, you know, I can put my hand on my heart and say at no point have we ever thought, why did we get this old wreck? Why didn't we just get a ready-to-move-into house?
But I start having dreams, you know, that we are actually sleeping upstairs, you know, and I cannot find my way around it because the house is so big. But there's plenty of work, you know. Once we finish this room, I think the next thing that we need to do is the kitchen, so it will be a while still before we can move in.
It certainly feels a lot brighter. Yeah.
It feels more like our place as well, you know? Because when we've been doing stuff to it, so I think it feels more like our space somehow, you know? Our home.
I'm heading back to Anthony and Beata's house, Newbury, to see how all their hard work has paid off. When they bought the Victorian house, it was looking rather sad and careworn. A succession of out-of-character modernisations had left it with a distinctly 70s feel. It's taken some fairly drastic action and some careful choices about styles and colours to get things on the right track.
Well, it looks very nice, doesn't it?
Thank you. Well, I think we're quite pleased with it.
Beata and Anthony have transformed this nasty-looking and badly neglected sitting room into a haven of arts and crafts chic.
That's made a fantastic centrepiece to the room, hasn't it?
I'm glad you like it. Yeah, it's the William Morris Pimpernel wallpaper that we decided to go for.
Expensive?
Moderately expensive. It was about 45 quid a roll.
When we were at Kelmscott, you were very taken with the stone fireplace. You looked at maybe having one made, but this hasn't been made for you, has it?
We did look at getting one commissioned, but it was going to be quite expensive. And we were lucky to stumble across this in the Wells Reclamation Centre. It happened to be exactly the right fit, which is a bit of a fluke, really.
Because I looked at it, I thought, I wonder whether it's a new one that you've had distressed to look old. But in actual fact, no, it's just an old one that is naturally distressed, which I quite like.
Already distressed, that's right.
Yeah.
Presumably this was much more expensive than getting a new one.
I did haggle, I have to say, and we got it for £150.
Did you really? The floor's come up beautifully, hasn't it, when you look at it? What did you do, wax it in?
Wax.
We waxed it in the end, yes. Had two coats of wax.
And what's nice is that where you've actually sanded off, where the darker patch was around the edge, there's no trace of that now. I think because of the size of the room now, you realise that whilst the cream's fine all around the wall, it is a little bit blank now. It's almost like you could afford to have another splash of colour somewhere else in the room.
Yeah, I agree. I think we erred on the side of caution by just getting a very small area of wall wallpapered. But now I think we might order some more and put it on that wall over there.
This has come up very nicely, this whole chaise longue, which was a disaster when I last saw it.
It had woodworm, it was falling to bits, the springs were all gone.
To be honest, it looked like it was almost beyond repair.
Now it's turned into another nice piece of furniture.
And again, the William Morris design works on it, doesn't it?
We think so, yeah.
It's always nice when you see one part of it finish, and you then can look forward to how the rest of the house is going to be.
Yeah, I think you test your ideas. You see how these ideas are working in one room, and then you can move on to next one and experiment in the other rooms as well.
Yeah.
Anthony and Beata set themselves a budget for the sitting room of £5,000. And with just a few finishing touches to go, the total spend will be well under that. They're well on the way to creating a lovely family home for themselves and little Julia, which hopefully will be ready for them to move into very soon.
Anthony and Beata haven't gone mad with the place. There's an earthy naturalness about it with the polished wood floor and the stone fireplace, but certainly the William Morris wallpaper and chaise longue do that thing that was so important here, to bring all the nature and countryside they can see outside their front window into the room. It's also given it back some of the grandeur it originally had, don't you think? I rather like it.